Hey guys, so I'm trying something new today. I'm gonna try not using my camera, and I have a reason for that. I feel like, um, just to be honest, I feel like my work is not um really getting the credit that uh, what it's worth, and no hard feelings, but I feel like that's my fault because I just think that um I'm not good at presenting my work. I'm not doing it justice, and I think there's a good chance that has to do with me getting distracted by seeing myself and also holding back from really expressing how important this information is because um I get insecure about making um like certain facial expressions. So we're just gonna see how this goes. And yeah, I'm just testing it out. So this is gonna be about my dad, cancer, as you can see. And this video is absolutely insane. Like I'm not joking, and I know I say that pretty often, but hopefully you just stick around to the end because it's I know for sure it can shift paradigms. I'm not like I don't say that lightly, and it's not because it has nothing to do with my decoding. I don't think I'm a great decoder or one of the best decoders. That's not my goal. It's just this, like these connections, the connections themselves that are there, has nothing to do with me. I didn't make the connections. The connections are just there, and I just found them. That's it. I didn't make the connections myself. So, um, let's just get into it. And yeah, here's my dad, and that's my mom. And my dad. So again, if you are new to like these videos I've been doing lately, I've been talking about my dad, and he died of lung cancer from he smoked cigarettes, and I just found out recently that that event is, I'm not joking when I say this, is connected to the Bible, and um and myself and my whole family and my mom, and I'm gonna review some of that and then share like new information that branches off of it. So I made this pretty undeniable connection that um this is like I'm pretty sure um I mean I know for sure that I made this one myself. I'm not sure if I'm the only one who has made this. Um but this was like I made this connection myself. Other things that I found I will that are in here, they help me to make this overall, this grand connection, and I'll be giving credit where credit's due. But this is definitely something that I put together. I found I've thought about this connection with the smoking cigarettes and 9/11, and it's pretty undeniable. These are the towers, smoke, right? There's definitely something to that, and you know, with everything I'm gonna show, it'll just solidify that claim. All right, just bear with me. We're gonna go slow. This is the review. I've already shared this information. This was part of the crazy synchronicity that I had with my dad on June 24th. Let's just go line by line. So I'll explain. My dad, he was 1707 weeks when I was born, and I turned 1707 weeks on the 307th anniversary of Freemasonry, which that same day was 307 weeks after the show Lodge 49's first episode. Okay, which is about a Masonic lodge And this show, um, all thanks to Casey Jones for making this connection for me. I didn't know about the show at all, and then he told me about it, and it just changed. It just made all this possible. Honking. Okay. So now we're here. Lodge 49 is about a guy named Sean who loses his dad. That's the premise of the show. It's not just something that happens in the show. The premise of the show, when you read the description of it, it's about a guy named Sean who loses his dad, and it's about him coping with it. And I know for sure, like I have no doubt in my mind that the 49 is a reference to the magic square of Venus, which is a 7x7 grid, and it's all the numbers between 1 and 49. That's the magic square of Venus. I don't have a picture of it. If you look it up, you will see that. And I converted this into the date 7/7/49, and the span from that date to my birth is 507 months. I'll show why that's important in a second. So going back to the Venus to Earth ratio is 13:8, and the number 138, the prime factorization, is 2 times 3 times 23. Happens to be the date of the Ohio train derailment. And from 2/3/23 to 6/24, which was the day that I turned the same age that my dad was when I was born, that was 507 days. And just a little side note, this was one of the first huge synchronicity that I experienced. I reached 1,377 followers on Instagram, and that was a number. I started my whole decoding journey thanks to the channel 7-1. So this was a huge, there's a lot more to it, but 507 days before. And again, this date connected to Venus. So showing how the 507 connects to all this. 5:07 a.m. equals 307 minutes into the day. Again, this all happened on the 307th anniversary of Freemasonry and exactly 307 weeks after the first episode of Lodge 49. The prime factorization of 507 is 3 times 13 times 13. And Pope Francis, Pope meaning father, he became the Pope on 3/13/2013, 3/13/13, just like that. So that's perfect. And this day was a span of 6 years and 66 days before 1707, just like 1707. And I forgot to write it. I said it in my last video, but Pope Francis equals 507 in Satanic. Absolutely perfect. And 5:07 p.m. So this was a.m. So at 5:07 p.m. equals 17 hours and 7 minutes into the day. So 17:07, just like this. So, just to move on, and then now the 1707, this date, to the day that we're talking about, 6/24/2024. It was 911 weeks and 1 day, just like the date 9/11/01, just like the events of this. And when you go back 100 years, but it's still this date. So it's 1707, but it's of the year 1907. But like I said, still 1707. To my birth, that is a span of 30,955 days. And the 30,955th verse of the whole Bible is Revelation 15:8, and it's insane. It's absolutely insane what that verse is, considering what I showed you with the 9/11. Like, just remember this and then this connection. So again, from 1707, this what this whole synchronicity is about, like what yeah, like the I guess the core of this whole synchronicity. 1707 to my birth, 30,955 days. The 30,955th verse of the entire Bible is this. And the temple was filled with smoke from the glory of God and from his power, and no man was able to enter into the temple till the 7 plagues and 7 angels were fulfilled. So, smoke from the glory of God. Alright, self-explanatory. No man was able to enter into the temple, and I highlighted this because it's this is like representing this pretty much. And there was even the Tower 7 that was called on this date, that was Solomon building, like Solomon's temple. But more so, the Bible says that your body is a temple. So it's like, this is it's just perfect, like it's like you're destroying your temple by doing that. And then 7 plagues, 7 angels, like I just showed you, the 7 times 7 is 49, Lodge 49. And then yeah, it's just insane. Like, it's so insane. But like, this is just, I needed to share this stuff to show just something even crazier. But like, up to this point, oh wait, actually let me just finish this, and then so it's that same verse. The gematria value of the whole verse in reduction is 676, and my mom was exactly 676 months on that day. That, like, if you need me to tell you that's insane, I will. That's insane. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Just to this point, I can make the claim that that me and my family are connected to the Bible. Like, I can just say that, and like, people, I'm not really afraid of what people think about me saying that. Like, there's no way that we're not. Like, after what I just showed you, if you can fully grasp that, and I'm not saying we're the only people in the world who are connected to the Bible. That's not what I'm saying. But I found our connection to the Bible, and there might be more ways that we're connected to it, but like, maybe your quest is to find how you are too. But and if that is the case, then what I'm showing you right now is that that's a possibility for you to find your like connection to the Bible like this. Showing that the Bible has dictated my mom's life and my dad's life to, they were born at the perfect time, having them meet, having them conceive me when they did. All of that was dictated by the Bible. Like, it was set in stone, and there was no way to avoid it. It was set in stone. So that's what I'm trying to show here. Like, it was crazy enough. This last part was crazy enough that, I had this connection with my dad. 1707 weeks when I turned 1707 weeks, which was when he had me, and then from 1707 to my birth is 30,955 days, and the 30,955th verse of the Bible is it totally talks about like how he died. Which means that that was already written, while he was alive, and it was already, like I said, it was set in stone. And I'm gonna validate that even more. So keep this in mind for now. Alright, just kind of put it on the back burner for a little bit. That the 30,955th verse, I'm gonna convert that into this date, 3/9/55. Alright. And now we're gonna be connecting this to this Revelation 12 sign that we've been looking at, that I learned from 7-1. I'm pretty sure he discovered this, because I've never seen anybody else make this connection before him. And yeah, so this picture, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have seen it. Is the woman of the apocalypse, and he found that this is, well, obviously it's describing this, but he figured out what it actually was, which was a Venus transit followed by a solar eclipse. So Venus transit right here, and then on 6/3, I should put, so it's, the Venus transit was on 6/3/1769, and then it was followed immediately by a solar eclipse on 6/4/1769. Should have put the 6/4/1769, but it's all good. So you can see that. And this is what I think this whole slide is basically dedicated, or it's credited to Casey Jones, one of my mentors, and he's the one who informed me that from the actual Revelation 12 sign, which again the eclipse was on 6/4, to my dad's death, it was 12,012 weeks exactly, like 12/12, like time. There's 2 sets of 12 hours in a day. And he even made this connection too, the father time connection. So father time, like father, my dad, Chronos, Saturn, they're all synonymous. And my dad was a Capricorn. He was born on January 19th, so he was born the last day of Capricorn, going into Aquarius, and Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And what's really funny is, Saturn is known for its rings, multiple rings, and my dad, like you can ask my mom, but he was very well known for like wearing really nice jewelry, and he used to wear rings all the time. I can't even, it sucks I can't even wear them because my fingers don't fit, but I swear that was one thing. Another thing I knew him for so much was his rings. So it's another perfect synchronicity. Hopefully maybe I can find them and then maybe show them on a video someday. Now we're going to be branching off of this again. This is the same verse, Revelation 15:8, which equals 676. And I realized that this is the 26th square. So what's interesting about that is, this is on this day I turned 26 years old. October 7, 2017. And so if you go from my 26th birthday to the first episode of Lodge 49 about the guy named Sean who loses his dad, it was 303 days. And Saturn equals 303 in Satanic. So this 303 is going to carry us along for the rest of the presentation, and it's going to be just absolutely insane. So the 303rd prime is 1999, and my dad died in 1999. That in itself is wild, you know, with the connection with me in the show, and my 26th birthday, 303 days, like, let me just say one more time. So yeah, this verse that just connected me and him and my mom to the Bible, that's the 26th square. From my 26th birthday to the first episode of Lodge 49 about the guy who loses his dad, the guy named Sean. That was 303 days. Saturn equals 303. And remember this synchronicity with my dad, the father time connection, 1212, from the Revelation 12 sign, his death. And my dad happened to die in 1999, the 303rd prime. Now watch this. We're going to be looking at 303 lunar months after his death, which lands on this date right here. And I did this to show you the math. So you take 8948 divided by 29.53, you get 303. And 7-1, if you're watching this, you might find this interesting. I just realized that you get your 3313 and 1388 right next to each other, which is pretty mind-blowing if you know, if you're familiar with Seven's work and his wormwood, all his wormwood connections. So we're going to be looking at this date. And now we're going to go back to this date that we looked at a few slides back, which represents this verse. Again, it's the 30,955th verse of the Bible, and converted that to this date, 3/9/55. And we're going to go to that date, which is 303 lunar months after my dad's death. All right, are you guys ready? 3/9/55 to 303rd lunar month after my dad's death. It is exactly 6,900% of a common year. It's exactly 6,900% of a common year. Do you guys get that? Do you guys understand what I'm showing you? Do you guys understand how impossible that is? Like, do you, after all that, how I showed that me and my family are connected to this verse, and all the stuff that I showed with my dad and Saturn and 303, and this verse that like describes him, it describes, sorry, I got cut off, but yeah, this date is converted by the verse that describes how he died, the temple, smoke, all that, to the 303rd lunar month after he died. From that, 6,900% Exactly. 6,900% of a common year. Cancer. You guys get it? Like, you have to get it. You have to get it. Please get it. Please. Please. Like, this. I'm. Let's just move on, and then I'll rant after. Okay, let's just move on because there's things that just make this even crazier. I don't even you might not even believe that it can get crazier, but it can. So Cancer, the symbol of the Cancer is a crab. And another thing you can, this is some stuff that more like background knowledge. Like my dad, he was obsessed with crab. That was the one thing that he raised me eating that I still love to this day, and more than anything, crab. That's the one thing I remember him for the most. And another thing I was thinking about was so I was thinking about his connections to Mercury. I might make another video on that, but he was a car salesman. My dad was a car salesman, which is funny because Mercury, he's the god of transportation and commerce. And like I mentioned with his love of seafood and fish, I remember I would tell my mom I just want to eat fish only. Can you just feed me fish forever? And she was like, oh no, because you can't eat too much fish because you'll get mercury poisoning. I remember that being something that was something after he died, and I still loved fish, and I just remember that being another huge part of. But we're just talking about Cancer and Saturn right now, so we'll talk about Mercury another time. But crab equals 144. How perfect is that? Totally connects to this whole thing with the 1212 father time. 12 times 12 equals 144. See that? And I actually forgot to put it here. I initially learned it from Zenith of the Alpha. I'm not sure what the true origin, or who was really doing the work on it first, because I came into the community later. But I saw how he talked about time equals 144 as well, which is really interesting, super interesting. And we're talking about Father Time. I wish I would have put that here, but yeah, just the emphasis on the crab. Okay, crab. And here's where it gets even. This is where it gets super crazy. Just total validation that this is really this show. This Lodge 49 show. It's totally connected to my dad, and I want to see. I'm curious if anyone else out there is connected to this show in this same way. I'm just curious, and it's not even it's this. I'm talking about my dad strictly right here. This isn't even about. I'm not saying my connection. I'm talking about my dad's connection to the show. So when you go from the first episode of Lodge 49 to the 303rd lunar month after my dad's death, which we looked at, it's exactly 289 weeks. That's the 17th square, 17 times 17. And Freemasonry was founded in 1717. How is that? How is that possible? How is that not just absolutely mind-blowing? And don't forget the connection I showed with my 303 to me in that show back here. My 26th birthday, Remember that was important because of this. 26 square is 676. This verse, me and my family are connected to this verse without a doubt. And for my 26th birthday to the first episode of that show is 303 days. And from the first episode of that show to the 303rd lunar month after my dad's death is 289 weeks to 1717, or the 17 square, 17 times 17. Freemasonry was founded in 1717, and we had, me and my dad, we, like, the day that I became the age that my dad was when I was born was the anniversary of Freemasonry. And it was the 307th anniversary of Freemasonry, and exactly 307 weeks after Lodge 49. Like, what the heck is going on? Like, this stuff is driving me crazy. This stuff is driving me crazy. I want to know so bad. Oh my god, I want to know so bad what's going on. I'm not getting any answers. And now, we're gonna look at this date here. Okay, so 3/3/1999. 3/3/1999. You see that? 3/3/1999. Did we already look at that? Alright, anyways, so from 3/3/1999 to the 255th anniversary of the Revelation 12 sign, which really just opened up a huge door for me. Like, it just, once this thing happened, oh yeah, I forgot to mention. So this day, remember how I mentioned that the Revelation 12 sign was 6/3 and 6/4 was the eclipse? So on the 6/4, the day after this, that was exactly 404 lunar months after my mom went to the hospital the night before I was born to give birth to me. And there's 404 total verses in Revelation. So this is really showing how important this 303 number is with all that stuff I just showed. Like, from 3/03/1999 with 303, the 303rd prime is 1999. My dad died in 1999. To, the 255th anniversary of the Revelation 12 sign was exactly 303 months. Like, just absolutely perfect. And I just wrote this to re-emphasize, like, with this, how important, like, my dad's death was to this. Because from the actual Revelation 12 sign to his death was 12 weeks, which represents Father Time. 12, Father Time, my dad, Father Time, Saturn, 303. Like, it's just perfect. This whole thing is absolutely perfect. It just is. I'm sorry, like, I can't, like, I have to speak about it with passion, or else, like, if I just talk about it nonchalantly, then I need you guys to know how like, groundbreaking this is. And it's the last slide. I'm just gonna finish it with a banger, So now, as you know, how hopefully like, if you're watching my channel, you most likely know that most of the world would write this date as 3/30, March 30th. What most of the world would write this as 30/3, and it's very valid. So 33, got cut off again. So 3/3/1999. Don't forget this. From my birth to 3/03/1999 is 2731 days. The 399th prime, and lung cancer equals 399 in Latin. And my dad died of lung cancer from smoking cigarettes. Yeah, that's the last slide. Oh my god, okay. What do I have to say? I'm I'm tempted. I'm so tempted to take my work to a rabbi or a priest or something. Like something that I got to do something about this, because I mean, I know that all of our work all the work we do, like talking about this whole community, like all of our work could prove to anybody if they were to just sit down and look at it, but that, like, when it comes to this stuff, like when you're decoding real stuff, because I mean, it's just hard, because that's why it's like hard for me to go back from doing this, because like when I'm decoding sports or movies, or I mean, okay, like if they are putting those things in place, then it's like we're just uncovering that. But this stuff is like how, like, Freemasons are not controlling this. So what's going on? Or like, am I being watched? Or what? Like, what's going, like? But I think that this, like, proves like a new element of this universe and how things are being like how our lives are being ran. That's the thing, because then if I just if I'm just decoding like celebrities and movies and stuff, like that doesn't really prove that, because like we won't know if they are doing these things on purpose just for us to find it. But with this, like my parents aren't Freemasons, and they don't know that, like, there's no way, that's why I just really love synchronicities, and I can't get enough of them at this point. Like, I really can't. And it's like the way that my family connects to the Bible. Like, what? The Bible? Like, my family is connected to the Bible? That's insane. But it's undeniable, like what I just showed. You know what I mean? How could we not be? After all that. I don't know. I just hope you guys know how serious this is. And I just want to say thank you to the people who are interested in this, like when I'm sharing, because it's so much easier to be interested in like the stuff that we can all relate to, like the celebrities, politicians, all those people that we know. It's like that's a lot easier that's more appealing. That's easier to want to see. And if somebody else is trying to tell you like about themselves, about things that they don't have a personal like interest in, that's totally understandable. Like I totally get why it's not appealing. And I can't, I don't know, I'm choosing this over the appeal for now. Just for now. Like it's not like something I'm like I want to necessarily choose. It's like my heart won't let me do anything else. And it's like it's it's risky. Like my channel's not growing, but Um, I'm more than fine with that because, like, well, not more than fine. I, I would like it to, just for the sake of the information to get out. It has nothing to do with me. I don't want people. It's not because I want people to think I'm a great decoder or anything. I would like the information to just spread. So, like, I don't know. I'm just hoping one day that it can have the kind of impact on the world that I know that it has the potential to. Um, like I said, it's not has nothing to do with my decoding skills. It's just the information itself is just mind friggin' blowing. Like it is. And if it's not, like, I would love to hear how it's not. If anyone like really wants to let me know. But I would like some feedback. I would like some feedback on if this type of video was more effective. I actually felt a little bit better about it. Like, I didn't have to worry about like what my face looked like while I was just like kind of going off. And yeah, just let me know. Let me know what you think. Any feedback? Any feedback? And thanks to everybody who's like, who's contributed to helping me put this all together. Because, like I said, there's pieces that if I didn't have certain pieces, wouldn't have been able to find any of this at all. So that's the end of my ranting. Hope you guys enjoyed this and got something out of it. Take care.